Hey there, welcome. This is Wildreader's thoughts, comments, reaction and recommendation corner of manhwa stories. Swapping souls and/or exchanging bodies has been a popular plot now in manhwa, so here are some stories I had read and been reading recently. Enjoy! Bloody marriage. Scarlet was a happy girl. With beautiful looks, a wealthy family, and even a kind fiancé, Scarlet was expected to be the most beautiful bride in the world. But on the morning of her wedding day, the pure white bride was killed by someone. When she opened her eyes again, everything was different. Why was she Vivian instead of Scarlet, the esteemed daughter of the Count? Promising, like the mystery aspect. Waiting for more chapters. Feel as much as you know. They were a perfect couple except for sex. One day, Ah Yian and her exchanged souls, and at that very moment there was a man who made her orgasm for the first time in my life. Warning, cheating is present here. Concentration of malice. After years of hardship that culminate in the form of a terminal illness, Rita is determined to do whatever it takes to survive. It might be the wrong thing to steal somebody else's body, but she doesn't care about what's right or wrong anymore. Now, she's Berta, the affluent and beautiful daughter of Count Alberhart. She's in the prime position to enjoy a comfortable life, but the people around her seem intent on breaking her. Trigger warning, self-harm, victim blaming, suicide, sexual assault, psychological abuse, physical abuse, pedophilia, false allegations. The first few chapters after the prologue were painful to sit through. The noble pirate. From the high seas to high society. When the infamous pirate Rosetta gets poisoned to death, she wakes up in the body of noble Lady Leah. Now, to avoid a second death, Rosetta must play the part of a noble and get engaged? But to whom? Could it be to the strange admiral who has suddenly come chasing after Rosetta? Most FLs are miraculously quick to adapt to the new environment, while in this story the female lead has to learn again from scratch and takes a few chapters to show that FL needs adaptation to a new environment. Circumstances of switching bodies. Prince Frederick is struck with a curse that causes him to switch bodies with any woman he spends the night with. This brings misfortune to the Chandler family, who is unfairly executed for treason when the royal physician, Cedric Chandler, fails to cure the prince. So, the heroine knows she's in trouble when she wakes up as Irenia, the daughter of the Chandler family. Luckily, she also knows about the magic potion that can lift the curse and seduces the cold Frederick to switch bodies with him. In the name of your death. Yvonne Bridgehair is an archmage and demi-dragon, the one human loved by the dragon Roigenkistro. Being a dragon's soulmate is a great privilege, but it also means that she occasionally becomes cold and heartless, just like a dragon. After Yvonne tries to harm her unborn child in a fit of rage, she makes Roigenkistro promise that he will protect her child and her lover, Jay. But when Roigenkistro fails to keep that promise and Jay dies, she decides to end her life as well. Sadly, instead of being reunited with Jay in the afterlife, Yvonne wakes up in a world where no one remembers that she and Jay were lovers and Roigenkistro is gone. Entirely overboard with the humiliation, degradation, and violence. Cancel this wish. A long time shut in, Ramiel gets pressured by her mom to attend a banquet where it just so happens that her crush, Tyrael, and her ex-best friend, Beryl, announce their engagement. If only I were Beryl, Ramiel wistfully thinks. Her necklace suddenly lights up at the thought, and she is transported back in time to her days at the academy, but as Beryl, stuck inside Beryl's body, she at first wonders how she can live up to Beryl's reputation, but when Ramiel meets her own self, she learns more about herself than she ever had before. Lady Beast. An arranged marriage that ends in a body swap? The quiet Princess Alyssa has lived a miserable life thus far. To get away from it all she agrees to marry the war tyrant, Duke Ginger of Landal Kingdom. But by some evil curse, the new couple wakes up in each other's bodies. Nothing jaw-dropping, but it's good in its own right. People who enjoy reading about developing romance and slice of married life would like this. Why would a villainess have virtue? She won't rest until they're dead. Charlotte has no qualms about murder if it means her beloved Prince Albert can ascend to the throne. But when he accuses her of treason and leaves her to rot in prison, she learns that loyalty is no virtue. 5 years later, Count Keitel appears before her with a request, won't you kill the Emperor? Pretty good story. The mystery behind her framing is interesting, the romance is suitably slow. Also, really love how the author avoided a time reversal scenario. What it means to be you. The refined Princess Violet is set to marry Winter, a nobleman's illegitimate and hot-tempered son, to clear her family's debt. For her, it's love at first sight, but the marriage plunges into disaster as her family's royal status becomes null and void and she's branded a swindler. 3 years into this nightmare, the ex-princess decides to end it all, only to wake up in Winter's body instead. Both MCs are so broken mentally. They love each other so much but they're so different and were raised with different mindsets that they hurt each other with the thing they do. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more recommendations.